Let's start with a welcome. Welcome, everyone. This is JackAsh. We are going over a developer release note announcement
notes, patch
thing
notes, release notes
for something that hasn't happened yet, but that we're very excited to see happen. It's for one of our favorite games, The Long Dark. You've probably, if you're watching this video, you've probably seen another one. Yeah.
Here we go. What is the expansion pass? 3 new regions connected by the long travel zones and hub region. Okay, that's, fairly normal. First of these, a Forsaken Airfield. That sounds really interesting to me. I'm assuming you're not going to be able to fly anything, but I'm
probably
also
not.
seeing some very cool visuals. 3 Tales, narrative-themed challenges that take place within your survival game. Each revealing insights into... Oh, interesting.
So I don't know how this is going to work. I mean, well, I guess I do it. They say narrative-themed challenges.
So it'll be objectives that you can hit inside of a just sandbox survival game. That's
what I'm thinking, which is different than the challenges they already have.
Different.
So that'll
Very
be
different.
Kind of a neat change.
It will be.
Maybe eventually.
Okay, handheld shortwave radio. What would that be for?
I have no idea. Actually, wait, trader. They mentioned a trader.
Oh, they do?
Down. So possibly related to that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It'll be interesting to have other people, like NPCs.
Yeah, there's going to be an NPC that's not in the story mode. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, I definitely had to look up what a travois was. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't know.
I wasn't even going to try it.
There's actually a picture
farther
somewhere in here. There. That's the travois. It's like the backpack thing that you can drag.
Okay.
Like a
type of sledge formerly used by indigenous peoples, especially of the Great Plains, to carry goods consisting. So that's cool. That's my assumption.
Whatever
which would be very useful. As again, we just saw, being able to load down food and firewood and stuff in a centralized pack that you instead of having to remember everything, you just remember that.
Yep.
Oh, that will be very cool.
Right.
Oh, that's
very excited for that.
So excited for that. Safe house customization.
Yes.
Are we getting into base building now?
Yeah, so that's the paid section. The free updates, if you already have the base game, or if you're purchasing just the base game, aren't bad either.
No.
If you've got experience playing this game, like Jack and I, you'll have to completely redo your global loot stuff.
But I don't want to do that.
Because they mentioned the loot refresh and wildlife refresh. I assume decay rates are going to be adjusted as well. Everything I say that's not written here as a guess. Got to make that clear.
You can take it with absolute certainty. But anyway, so even if you're not going to buy the expansion, which is fair, especially if you're just coming to this game, they're adding so much with the free update to the base game, which you said they get into payment options later, so we'll get into that. But first, I need to read this because I haven't. So you talked about, full global loot and wildlife refresh.
That could be a smack in the face.
Which is going to be... I think it's smart because it forces you to relearn parts of the game. I think some people are probably going to be upset about it, but it's probably a very small subsection of people, because I would think most people who are really invested in this game and have learned all of the loot drops are also the people who would be excited to learn new locations. So I don't... Or
to find that things are, in some cases, less predictable. I mean, to always be able to go to the same place and find the thing gets kind of, boring.
It does. I would hope that there's going to be very little backlash for that, because I think that's fine.
Yeah. Visor notes is going to be pretty neat.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
And
given that there's currently nothing in the visors, I'm perfectly happy to have something, some reason for checking that all the time.
Even if it didn't lead you somewhere and it was just like a little, a grocery list fell out.
They have the... they have a few of them where it's a note for a bread recipe or whatever. If there's more of those weird things, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned new first-person animations.
The thermos. I know that's such a small thing, but I'm really excited about that.
Cool. I'm curious how long the thermos lasts, but that is really cool. Because that is
forever.
really long. What?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Burdock.
The burdock. Already touched on that.
You did.
Probably getting incorporated into those recipes. I'm interested to see like the calorie density and stuff like that. Being a leafy green. A lot of the burdock is edible in real life, so it depends on what part they go for. Whether they go for the root or the leaf for the...
I'm seeing that. Or the...
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, burdock is...
Don't know off the top of their head?
Yeah, for those who don't know off the top of your head. Not that there would be any like that. Burdock is probably... It's a little... what I immediately... When I looked it up, what triggered my memory of it is the weird little ball-like things that get caught on your clothing. And... for those who also don't know, led to the invention of the hook and loop fastener, which is really cool. So that in itself is a fun trivia point for me. But okay, that's really interesting.
Improvised crampons. So
yeah,
I've been playing this game for what's this been, years now? 2
years, yeah,
something like that, and never worn crampons. Too hard to get to. I know a lot of people, like there are videos of people like going and getting them and getting the backpack and stuff. It's all well and good. I'm never going to make it there on a character that needs crampons with like interloper. If it's interloper, I'm never going to make it there. If it's less than interloper, I'm not going to need them. So I mean, the improvised ones will be interesting in that they'll bring, I guess, that kind of option into admittedly a very blessed interloper run.
I am always interested in the improvised versions of things because they seem more attainable on harder difficulties. But yeah, here we go. So scheduling. All the updates will be released in content drops. That's fairly standard, I feel like, at this point. And the goal is to release a new drop every 8 to 10 weeks. So like roughly every 2 months. That's aggressive, but okay. I wouldn't be surprised, and this is purely just a prediction, I wouldn't be surprised if that backs off to like every 3 months. Maybe a little more.
I wouldn't either.
2 months seems good, unless it's smaller drops than what they're sort of laying out or what I'm inferring.
Well, so what I'm thinking is that a bunch of the stuff listed above will be split into drops, like not all at once, right?
Okay.
So I'm thinking like maybe you get the overhaul for the loot and wildlife, and then in the next drop you get burdock in your recipes, or stuff like that. Additionally, and they talked about this in some of their previous updates, they've spent a lot of time lately into divorcing the story mode game from the survival game. Yeah. Because the platform for the story couldn't handle all the updates they wanted to make and whatnot. So they've made it easier on themselves to update, which will be nice. And maybe 8 to 10 weeks will be feasible. I would hope it would be. But again, maybe it splits a little bit. Maybe it falls a little bit.
Yeah. No, we'll see. And that, there's a point they make, and that's a good for them for realizing that they need to streamline some stuff. I can't imagine the challenge that it is. But yeah.
Especially with something you've already got in place,
Right.
And that actually is a good segue into how much will it cost, because what it costs depends on what you're getting. It looks like they're essentially splitting their game into 3 pieces that you can buy either piece all on its own and then get other pieces added on or not added on as you want. There's a little graphic further down, but we can get there.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Okay, so if you buy now and or until release, it's going to be $20 US.
Yeah.
But they will be, but that is a bit of a discount, I'm assuming, as a benefit of hopping in early.
Yep.
Because it looks like they will be increasing that price twice. Once at the midway point, it's going to go up by $5 US, reflective to your local currency, obviously. And then at the end of the 12-month campaign, it's going to go up by 5 again to 30. So if nothing else, the takeaway is if you're excited by all this and you want all of this, you might as well get it now. But you did say they're going to be splitting their game in 3.
That's the way it looks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the 3 being...
So they've already split it back-end wise into survival and story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what that means is they were able to create a standalone survival-only version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're also going to relaunch, if we scroll down to the image, they're going to relaunch just a survival.
Look at that.
And just a story. In addition to having Tales from the Far Territory.
The way I'm reading this is you're going to have to buy the survival mode. But you can just buy the survival mode.
I see. So Wintermute and the Tales of the Far Territory are going to be like a DLC to the survival. Right. Okay.
Right. I didn't read this fully. This is actually a bigger deal than I expected. And I could see there being backlash over this. So when I first read it, obviously, they're saying the current survival... Unfortunately, your current survival saves will not work with the game once it has been updated. I didn't read that correctly. I thought it won't work with the updates, which I completely understand them not including that. This is, to be clear, once it updates, you won't be able to access your old saves and play them. Before we go too far, they do clarify, and I do want to point it out, all the achievements, all that fun stuff is going to be unlocked still. You don't lose that. And I think more importantly, for some people, for me, I haven't unlocked that many feats. So for me, the previous Wintermute save files will continue to work. I think that's very important to say before we go too far, because that would definitely be, I think, something everyone would be upset about.
That would be rough.
So we'll finish off with, the player count's always way bigger than I expect.
Yep. To be fair, 10 million, I think, is people who have ever played.
Yeah.
Yes. But to have a tenth of that actively playing is no small number.
It's no small feat. I would definitely say I am in this camp of being rejuvenated for survival mode. Not that it's not still fun now, but I think updates and changes will be very
exciting.